Sweaty palms, dry mouth, mind racing. But once I'm on stage, in performance, it all goes away. It will this time too. The last night of my most intense, most demanding, most publicized, and last performance of my career. I have sat in that chair for 8 hours a day, every day, for 3 months. And every day, people have stood in line for hours to sit in the chair opposite me. 1,000 people have come. They can stay as little or as long as they like. No talk, no touch, just unbroken eye contact. At first I was a curiosity, but then the people who sat with me began to feel strong emotions, healing experiences. I was their mirror. Yesterday, a young mother unwrapped the blanket from her baby's head, revealing a red surgical scar, blistered from radiation. As we wept, the baby woke and smiled. 3 months is not my longest performance. My trek across the intercontinental divide lasted for 4 months, but that time I was walking towards a reconciliation, towards a marriage, towards Jasper. That was 10 years ago. I haven't seen him since. Not that I don't think about him. I do, every day, everywhere. Except when I'm on stage, except when I'm performing. Then I'm in control. But in fact, there was only one act I ever performed where I gave up control. That was also the night that I met Jasper. The night I performed In Your Hands. I was already fairly well known for my signature act, Russian roulette, played with a knife instead of a gun. It was based on the old drinking game, where you place your hand on a wooden table, spread your fingers, and stab between each finger with a sharp knife. I used 10 knives of increasing size. Each time I cut myself, I picked up the next knife and went faster and faster. I had laid a large roll of white paper on the table and a tape recorder beside it. After I used the last knife, I held up the bloody sheet of paper while the tape recorder replayed my moans and cries, my aria of pain. The first time I performed it, I was electrified. The audience and I became one, a single organism. The sense of danger in the room united us in the moment, in the here and now. I experienced total presence. Pain didn't matter. Nothing mattered. And it intoxicated me. I had found my medium. But then, after a while, I wondered, what if instead of doing something to myself, I let the audience decide what to do to me? I would be the object, the receptacle, totally passive. The public would provide the action. The event would last 6 hours. What would people do to me if I gave them absolute permission? What would I learn about human nature? What would I learn about myself? I had arrayed 50 objects on the table. Objects that could provide pleasure, a rose, a shawl, a glass of water, and objects that could provide pain, scissors, a razor, a gun. For the first 3 hours, nothing much happened. Now and then, someone handed me the rose, or draped the shawl over my shoulders, or kissed me. Someone stuck the pin in my stomach. Someone wiped the tears from my eyes. Someone pushed my head down. It stayed there until someone lifted it up. Someone wrote, "I am free," in lipstick on the mirror and placed it in my hand. Things moved slowly until it got dark. Then things quickened. An air of sexuality entered the room. The women told the men what to do to me, although I believe I was not raped because the women were there. A man cut my shirt open. 2 men lifted me up, carried me around, laid me on the table, spread my legs open, and stuck the knife close to my crotch. Someone poured the glass of water over my head. Someone nipped my neck with the razor and sucked the blood. One little man got very close, breathing hard. He picked up the gun. He put in the bullet. He put the gun in my hand. He placed my finger on the trigger. There was a murmur in the crowd. Somebody grabbed him. There was a scuffle. The 6 hours were up. I looked like hell. Half naked, bleeding, my hair was soaked. A clump of it had turned gray. I walked towards the audience. They were afraid of me, afraid of what they'd done. They ran from me. All except one.
Me?
You. And in the morning, we talk.
I've had flying dreams since as early as I can remember. When I was 7, I cut up a cardboard box and made myself wings and strapped them onto my arms by pipe cleaners. I climbed up to the 2nd story of our house, perched on the balcony railing. I looked down and I saw my little sister crying. Don't do it. But I was confident my design was foolproof. If I jumped, I would fly.
And?
I landed so hard, my knee hit my jaw and knocked me out. And my 2 front teeth, they grew back.
Oh, not everything does. So it didn't dissuade you?
When I was old enough, I got my pilot's license. But an airplane isn't a person in the sky, it's a machine in the sky. I wanted to be Icarus. I wanted wings. So I tried them all. Skydiving, paragliding, hang gliding, until I found it. Base jumping with a wingsuit.
Base jumping.
It's an acronym for what we jump from.
B for?
Buildings,
A for?
antennas, radio towers,
Oh. S for?
spans, bridges,
Bit of a stretch.
anything for an acronym.
Okay, so E. E for Earth. Cliffs.
You got it.
I've seen you guys on YouTube. You look like flying squirrels.
We're more evolved. We now have jetpacks.
To go faster?
And farther, more proximate. Like a bird.
Except birds don't crash into things.
No plate glass windows.
Is that what happened to you?
You notice.
You're dragging that left foot.
It's pretty good now. At first they thought they'd have to cut it off.
Are you still jumping?
Not until it heals.
So what do you do for thrills?
Well, you're enough for me. This is the best birthday I've ever had.
Come on.
No, really, you're fantastic.
No, that isn't what I mean.
Well, what then?
It's my birthday too.
Come on.
What are the odds of that?
Well, 1 in 365.
It's a sign
Of what?
of us.
So far, so good.
Oh, how about taking it more proximate?
I may need a little break.
Well, I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about a partnership,
What kind of partnership?
a shared act.
I thought you were a solo.
Up until now, I've tested my body. I've tested the public with my body. But I want to test myself in proximity to another. Proximity until we blend. Two become one.
Is that possible?
You're a risk taker. Let's find out.
So, what was that about?
Not having to do it for real.
That was real enough. I can barely talk.
You'll get stronger
At screaming?
at letting your true feelings out.
I thought we were getting along pretty well.
We are. But we're just being nice. We're on our best behavior.
And that's bad?
It's unsustainable. We're repressing our dissatisfactions.
About what?
You leave dishes in the sink.
So?
And the toilet seat up.
Uh-huh.
And use the last of the milk.
What about your hair in the shower?
And your socks on
And
the floor.
your snoring.
And your farts.
And you're never on time.
See what I mean? Let's try it again. It's time for a trust exercise.
All exercise is a trust.
This one raises the stakes. Remember how we met when that man put the pistol in my hand and you removed it? If you hadn't, I could have died. I mean, that's what the audience wants. Houdini explained it when he talked about his escapes. It's a great way to sell tickets if you think somebody's going to die while you're watching. Same with the High Wire Act, the Flying Walendas.
Oh, and a number of them did.
But the rest of the troupe got back up on the wire without a net. Why? They were asked. Because the wire is life. Everything else is waiting.
Okay. So what do you have in mind?
Bow and arrow. I hold the bow. You hold the string taut. Arrow between your knuckles. Tip pointed at my heart in a constant state of tension. We take microphones under our shirts so the audience can hear the amplified sound of our breathing, getting faster and faster. If your finger slips, you could literally break my heart. Ready?
Sorry.
For what?
I didn't mean to hit you that hard.
The object was to get to the other side of the room. I was in your way.
And I was in yours.
If I could have knocked you down, I would have. Let's try it again.
So what's the point of this? It's not very productive.
Oh, exactly. But audiences will like seeing it.
Why?
It's a reflection of their own conflicts.
You think they'll realize that?
On some level. If not, they can just enjoy the pain.
Our pain.
This isn't theater, Jasper. It's performance art. Everything we do is real. If I cut myself, it isn't a trick knife and ketchup. It's a real knife, and it's my blood. Okay. One more exercise, and we've got a show. Here. Plug your nostrils.
Oh.
mouth over mine.
Now what?
We pass the breath back and forth.
Until we run out of breath?
Or lose consciousness.
I don't like this one. I've had a few concussions. It's bad for the brain.
Okay. How about something perfectly safe, but tantalizing? We start the show in a narrow doorway, facing each other, and the audience has to walk between us one by one to enter the room. The space between us is so narrow that the front of their bodies will brush against one of us, and the back of their bodies will brush against the other.
And they'll have to choose which one of us to confront, the male or the female.
And we'll be naked. The reviews are great. Performance artists packing them in. Metaphors of gender mesmerize. Their pain, our pleasure. Ouch. We're getting lots of offers. We can get a real place to live.
What's wrong with my van?
It's cramped.
It's cozy. I'm not giving it up.
I'm not asking you to.
I need it for my equipment.
Your leg is still healing.
When it does,
And you'll go back to flying?
well, I hope so.
What about us?
What about us?
No fair. Answering a question with a question. Ask me how I am.
How are you?
How should I be?
Okay, so find us an apartment and make sure there's a parking place for the van.
It's about attention,
Everything we do is about attention.
about endurance, commitment, reaching an altered state of consciousness.
I get it, so when the intent is true, the physical body shall be no obstacle.
Okay, so let's give it a try. Look into my eyes.
Witchy as ever.
Keep looking.
No problem.
For 8 hours.
Okay.
For 10 days.
Problem.
We'll be sitting at a table opposite each other. Though, no elbows on the table.
Of course not.
All right, then I'll call the gallery.
Just one question. Why are we doing this?
Why do you think?
Not fair.
Because eyes are the window to the soul. Because eye contact is intimate. Because people crave to be known and are terrified of it. We'll be reflecting their fear and desire. And it will be a new milestone in our love. Our merging.
8 hours a day?
10 on Thursdays. And Saturdays.
No.
Your ass still hurts?
It's numb. I wish the rest of me was.
If it were easy, anyone could do it.
Why would they?
You could quit anytime you like.
Would you?
I can't, Jazz.
Because you drown.
I would have.
I know, Soph, it's your origin story, and you're sticking to it. You know, some people get over the childhood trauma.
It wasn't so much her throwing me out of the boat. It was her rowing away, leaving me in the middle of that lake going under.
You said she tried to teach you to swim all summer long, but you wouldn't put your head under the water.
I was 5 years old.
So it worked?
I was flailing. I was thrashing my arms and legs, and still, she kept rowing away from me, and not once Did she look back?
Okay, so refreeze the ice pack. Tomorrow is day 8.
Thigh bone's connected to the knee bone's connected to the calf bone. The calf bone's connected to the ankle bone. Now hear the word of the Lord. Hey, Mr. Grumpy Pants, I don't hear you singing.
I hurt too much to sing.
Oh, well then I'll change the tune. Cold empty bed, spring's hard as lead, feel like old Ned, wish I were dead. What did I do to be so black and blue?
I know what I did. And I'm not doing it anymore.
Wait, you're quitting on me?
No, my body is quitting on me.
We're almost there.
We've done enough.
One more day.
I can't.
Oh, come on, Jazz. If I can do it, you can do it.
Have you noticed the difference in our anatomies?
Are you saying I have a big ass?
I'm saying you have an ass. And mine is bony, and my balls hurt. I wasn't built for sitting 8 hours at a time.
You can't quit.
Why not? No, we just walk on stage. We make eye contact. We bow to each other, bow to the audience, and we walk off.
We promised 10 days.
What happened to spontaneity, to being in the moment?
We're on. We are.
Why didn't you walk off when I did?
I wasn't finished yet.
I went to the hospital, Sophia. My body couldn't take it, the not eating, not drinking, not moving for 8 hours at a time. My spleen was enlarged. I lost 10 pounds. My ass was bleeding.
You were suffering. I don't blame you for quitting.
Blame? I'm not talking about blame. I'm talking about loyalty, about support, about projecting a united front. About your goddamn blaming. What kind of blaming was that?
I'm sorry if it upset you, Jasper.
And the headlines in the arts section. Sophia Aaron's partner wins out.
I don't write the headlines.
They didn't even mention my name. That's all I am. Your partner.
Jasper, it's just a matter of longevity. I've been doing it longer.
Well, you're the one who deals with the press.
And you negotiate our contracts. We do what we're good at.
Well, you're good at upstaging me.
There it is. I have to be less, so you can be more.
Not more. Equal.
I've never been with a man who lets me be all I can be. Please, Jazz. Let's try. Don't be that way.
What way? Trying to move us away from narcissism? Exhibitionism towards creating something that matters?
It doesn't have to be a child.
Well, what else?
Give me time. I'll find it. We've been invited to the Venice Biennale.
To do what?
I submitted a proposal for a new performance. Genocide.
Sounds cheerful.
No, it's significant. You were right. It's time we use our art to do something meaningful. I've arranged for 500 pounds of bloody bones and skulls.
What?
Cow bones.
Well, that's a relief.
We'll spend a week in a tent washing them with soap and water.
You'll never get them clean.
That's the idea.
And they'll smell to high heaven.
Exactly.
And you'll wear the same butcher's outfit every day until it's thick with gore.
And a soundtrack of slaughter, animals bellowing, children screaming, bombs exploding.
An experiential Guernica.
Our protest.
When is it?
May.
I got a YouTube offer. A bass competition. They're filming in June.
You can be back.
I need to start training.
Your leg isn't healed yet.
It's good enough. I need to get back to flying. Remember the flying Walendas, the wire is life, everything else is waiting? You of all people should understand that.
Okay. I'll do it alone, and we'll meet up after.
For what?
A vacation?
You don't take vacation.
Okay. To work together then.
Performance art is, it's not my thing.
What about us? Are we a thing? Do you still?
I still.
Okay. So you tried it for a while, coming into my world, and now it's time for you to go back to yours. But that third self, the one we built together, we still have that. Don't we, Jazz? Don't we?
Now, Jamie was a close friend and a champion jumper. No, I wouldn't say he was fearless. I would say he was masterful. But base jumping is a dangerous sport. I don't know a single competitive jumper who hasn't suffered a major injury. And no matter how much you prepare, your partner is the wind. Was he ambitious, trying to surpass himself, break new records? Was he arrogant? Like Icarus flying too close to the sun? You know, I think you get that story wrong. Icarus was in prison. He flew because he had to. And so do we. Percentage of fatalities, I don't know. I don't want to know.
Thank you. I am deeply appreciative of your granting me the Biennale's Golden Lion. I accept it in honor and memory of every person of every nation who has suffered or is suffering the hell of war. I rarely talk about my work, but today is different. After 2 years of performing with my partner, Jasper McBurney, I performed solo. And it was lonely. I missed my partner. And so I put out this challenge, this invitation to you, Jasper McBurney, my other half. I want to continue our journey towards our shared self. I propose we hike the Continental Divide Trail and meet in the middle at Grand Lake, Colorado, the highest, coldest, most spectacular portion of the 3,000-mile-long trail. I will start at the Canadian border at Glacier National Park, and you will start at the Mexican border at Crazy Cook Monument. It will take 4 months, and when we meet, we will be married. I'm ready, Jazz. I'll see you in 4 months. On the trail, I encounter I've reached the midpoint. Hiked my 1,500 miles of the Continental Divide. Everything is arranged. The cake, the rings, the minister will read from the Song of Solomon. For now the winter is past. The rain has come and gone. The flowers have appeared in the countryside. The season of singing is come, and the turtle dove is heard in our land.
I can't.
Can't what?
It's just,
What? Too sudden?
no, it's not that.
Then what?
Things have changed.
Is there someone else? That's it. You found someone else. Do you love her?
She's pregnant.
Then why did you come?
I needed to see you.
You hiked for 4 months to tell me this.
It was our agreement. Look, I'll always be grateful for.
But it's over.
I have to move on, and so do you.
Okay. Thanks for coming, Jazz. A normal person would have sent a text. I do not fall apart. I hold it together and I transform it. I turn it into a theater piece. I call it the onion. I eat a large, raw onion, skin and all, like it's an apple, while I complain about my life as tears run down my face. I'm tired of changing planes, of waiting in waiting rooms, of waiting for passport control. I'm tired of career decisions, museum and gallery openings, endless receptions. I'm standing around with a plain glass of water pretending to be interested in the conversation. I'm tired of my migraine attacks, of lonely hotel rooms, room service, long-distance telephone calls, and bad TV movies. I'm tired of falling in love with the wrong man. I'm tired of being ashamed that my ass is too fat. I want to run away, so far that I'm unreachable, where there is no internet. I want to grow old, really old, so that nothing matters. I want to understand and see clearly what's behind all this. I want to stop wanting. I go into therapy, intensive talk therapy. I find a Freudian psychoanalyst and I book her for a week. We are together 8 hours a day for 6 days. Even God rested on the 7th. I tell her about my life, from my knife performances in Russian roulette to Jasper saving me in Your Hands, to our joint performances of screaming, staring, crashing the arrow at my heart. And I want to talk about Jasper. How can it be that after all of our shared life that we split because of what? But she only wants to talk about my mother. It's all about your mother. Get used to it, she says, while lighting one of her ever-present Cuban cigars. Your father left her after 30 years of marriage and she fell apart, but she was determined to make sure you were strong, not needing anyone. She became physically and emotionally abusive. She deprived you of her love and her attention, and you ran away. And in your performances, you replayed the pain and fear she inflicted on you. But this time, you would be in control. So it's all about my mother, I said. The festradas, the locking you in the closet, the beatings, and don't get me started on the swimming lesson. The psychoanalyst gave me a copy of her notes. I sent them to Jasper. There was another person in bed with us, Jazz. No wonder you felt crowded. Jasper doesn't respond. I remember a story from my childhood. No one, not even the mother, notices that it is not the same child. So instead of death, I choose resurrection. Instead of pain, I choose peace. Instead of performing, I open the Sophia Academy. In Greek and Hebrew, Sophia means wisdom. In Arabic, it means pure. Pure wisdom. Beginner's mind. That's what I want to share. I rent a rural retreat center, and I hold a lottery for applicants. The dozen students sign a contract that maps out their involvement for the next 5 days. We convene on the evening of the first day and consume a small bowl of rice and lentils. After that, we eat nothing and drink only distilled water. Here are some of the exercises. Walk backwards, holding a mirror for 1 hour. Look at a sheet printed red for an hour. Then a yellow sheet. Then a blue. Slowly open a door without entering or exiting for 1 hour. Take 100 sheets of paper and write ideas for an hour. Put the ones you like in a box. Put the ones you don't like in the trash can. Use only the ideas in the trash can, the ones you're afraid of. The last exercise is extremely important. A mound of sand is placed before you, and you will count the grains of sand for 3 hours. You will go through the range of being bored, angry, frustrated, knowing you can never finish the task, until you are simply counting grains of sand. Why? Life is fast. Being is slow. The only way we can change the world is to start with ourselves. Some of you look skeptical. 5 days? No way. Okay. How about 5 minutes? All right, make it 2. 2 minutes. Can you spare that? Give it a chance. Why keep running away from now? Turn to the person sitting next to you and look into their eyes. If you came together, see them as new. If you don't have a partner, look at your hand. See it for the first time. I'll ring a bell to begin. After 2 minutes, I'll ring it again. Be present.